Hello everybody and welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk about my 5-star reads and my almost 5-star reads for this year so far. And surprisingly, there has been a lot. And I did not expect that. And sometimes I wonder in my mind if I'm just giving out 5 stars willy-nilly. But I really think that I'm just like finding books that I love and I'm going after the ones that I want to read, if that makes any sense. I'm not like forcing myself to read anything and it's just working out. And I've had quite a few this year. So I've read 15 books and out of the 15 books, only 5 of them have been a 5-star. And I know I said that a lot of them have been 5 stars, which I'm realizing now that 5 is not a lot out of 15, but it is a lot, I feel like, in the book world of 5 stars. Also, that's a lie. I think I have more than 5. Let me double check that. Okay, I have 6 out of 15 that are 5 stars, and there are like 3 others that were close to a 5-star. So I'll talk about those too. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on my 5-star reads this year and kind of tell you guys what they're about and hopefully convince you to maybe read them, because I think you 1000% should. But we'll start off with The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This book was my first book of the year and it was so good. Apparently it's a Wuthering Heights, like modern spin-off kind of, which I had no clue when I was reading it, but I kind of just found that out. You follow Katerina and Heath. Now I'm thinking about it, yes, that's like kind of a spin-off of Wuthering Heights because Catherine and Heathcliff, I think, are their names. I don't know, I've never read the book or seen the movie, but you follow Katerina, and Katerina is a ice dancer, not a figure skater, an ice dancer, but she just wants to be the best of the best, and Heath is her best friend, boyfriend, and he will do anything for her, and he kind of gets roped into being her partner for ice dancing. They're like childhood sweethearts, and we follow them as they get more famous throughout the story, and it just becomes really toxic. And it's interesting because it jumps back and forth between the story and then a documentary that is being made about Katerina, and you have like little snippets of people from the story saying their like thoughts in the documentary. But it's interesting to get those little interludes and read the story at the same time. But I think if you're wanting a wild ride and something to just keep you on the edge of your seat and you are just mind blown and can't believe that this is happening, I would suggest The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I read this in like, I think 2-3 days. It was that good. So 5 stars, I would recommend. The next book I read, which was completely different, and I had never read a book by her before, and it was my first one. It's a genre I have never ever been interested in reading, is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And this is another reason why I didn't want to read it, because it looks huge, and it is huge. It's like 600 something pages, I think. It's 590 pages, but same thing. But anyway, this book, guys, it brought me to tears multiple times as well. The middle, the end, it just got me good. This book is about 2 sisters during World War II, and these sisters are from France. They live in France. Each sister kind of copes with the war differently. One really just wants to fight and help out with the war, and the other wants to kind of just lay low and wait it out and just take care of her family, and they both don't really see eye to eye on that, and that kind of causes some tension between the sisters, and we just follow them each throughout their own journey, and it is so devastating and so good at the same time. And I'm telling you guys, if you want to get into historical fiction and you've never read it before, this is perfect for it, because it's not like boring. The story is really good and you're just really engrossed in the story the whole time, and you feel for the characters and you just really get to know the characters. I really enjoyed this and I would really recommend. Just make sure you have some tissues or something, because it's an emotional roller coaster for sure. But it's really good and I would recommend. My next 5-star book of the year, I don't have a physical copy and I really wish I did, because this is my favorite book, I will say, hands down, that I've read this year so far. It is, I think about it to this day, and I read it in like February. Yeah, I read it in February and I cannot stop thinking about it, guys. It's so, so, so good. And I would recommend this over and over again, but this book is We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. And it's a thriller, which hilarious that she has that name. And I don't know if it's really her name, but it just fits perfectly. I do love a good thriller. I love when it can just take me by surprise. But this book is so crazy. And the book starts out with two girls that go missing in this small town, and you follow the deputy as she tries to figure out what's happening and where the girls are and what has happened to them. And it's just the most wild ride, and the most, I can't explain it. I can't explain how it made me feel because it's so good. It's emotional. It made me angry. It made me cry. I did cry, I will say. And it just didn't quite make me feel like icky, but what happened was so real that it was hard for me to read at points, but it was so good. And if you're wanting something that just will make you think about it every day, and this thriller, it's not like an easy thriller where you can just read it and it was a fun little ride, but it's really good, and I would 1000% recommend it every day of my life. And I really think you guys should read We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. On to the next book, which is the most just fun romance I have ever read, and that is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I read romances, fun rom-coms, but I'm not a die-hard romance fan. I love some fantasy mixed in with some thrillers, and I kind of just love everything. But romance is on the bottom of my list, I would say. I loved this book, guys. It's the most out there story, but it's so fun, and it just had me laughing out loud. It's my first Catherine Center book, and I loved it. And it's a closed door romance, and I thought that it was perfect and the cutest thing ever. We follow Hannah, and let me just tell you, her inner dialogue is the funniest thing ever, and she's just so sassy. It's just really fun to read. Hannah is a bodyguard, and who she works for are the people that kind of protect really rich people. They don't often do celebrities, but Jack is a celebrity, and he needs a bodyguard as he is going back to his hometown to visit his mom, who has cancer. She has been assigned to be his bodyguard, and in order to blend in, she pretends to be his girlfriend. You can just imagine how it goes on from there, but it is so fun. He lives on a ranch in Texas, I think is where it was. He has a secret that he has kept to himself, and she's somebody who doesn't let people in, really. And it's just so fun to watch these two break down each other's walls, and reading her be in the ranch and getting to know his family and everything. It's so sweet and so cute, and I would recommend, and I think I saw that they're making this into a movie. And let me say, the whole plot of her being a bodyguard for a celebrity, he's an actor, is it's cringy. Yes, I know it's cringy, but it's so fun for a book. But a movie might not be the fun, best thing. I don't know. It could be good, but I can see it also being really cringy. If you're wanting a quick, fun, cute, sweet romance, The Bodyguard is the one for you. And then my next 5-star read was Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. And let me tell you, now that I think about it, I read it a while ago, that was a month ago. Now that I think about it, I feel I would put it down to a 3-star. Is that terrible? At the time, I had just come off of another book that wasn't that great, so when I read this, it was I thought it was really fun and good. But I have a video on it of me reading it, a vlog about it. But I think I'm gonna put this down to a 3-star because I don't ever think about it. But it was still fun. But then my last 5-star book that I read this year recently was another Kristen Hanna book, and this one had me absolutely sobbing at the end. More than The Nightingale, I was crying my eyes out. I will not recommend this enough. You follow Elsa, who's raising her 2 children in Texas during the during the Great Depression, so this is the Dust Bowl era, and you're following her as she's raising her kids with her husband in Texas, and then it starts getting really bad and the crops start dying and all of that, and their marriage is a little rocky, and she has a 13-year-old daughter, which, let me tell you, when you're 13, you don't really want to be around your parents and you're a girl, and you're just, at least for me, I just remember not wanting to listen to my mom. I regret it to this day. I love my mom and she's the best. I don't know how she puts up with all of my sisters and I. We're just very emotional girls. Anyway, but anytime there's a mother-daughter relationship and there's tension, that's in this one, it gets me good. You're following Elsa as she's trying to raise her children in the Dust Bowl era, but then they decide that they need to leave Texas and go to California to look for a better life. It doesn't quite work out the way they want it, and you just have to see what happens. But guys, I know historical fiction is so hard to get into, but let me tell you, this is worth it, and if you don't read it, you'll regret it. And then I'll talk about my like 4.5 stars that I read this year. There's only like a couple. One I just read actually was called Pictures of You by Emma Gray, and that book was really, really good. You follow Evie, who wakes up in the hospital with no memory. The last thing she remembers is when she was 16 at a party, so her mind thinks she's 16, but she's actually 29, and she has had this whole life. And she has a husband. She's in the hospital because she's the only one that survived a car crash. Her husband did not, and she doesn't even know who her husband is. She didn't even know she was married, right? So we follow her as she tries to kind of recover her memory, and it's a dual POV. So we follow Drew as well, who was her like childhood best friend, but they haven't talked in years. She doesn't know that. She doesn't even know him. He's the one that kind of helps her uncover her memories. There's also a little bit of romance in it, and it's really emotional, and there's also a little bit of a mystery going on in the book, but it's super, super fun. I would recommend if you're wanting something that is emotional, really fast paced because the chapters are really quick, a little bit of a mystery in there, some romance as well. It's really good, and I would really recommend that. And then the last book I have to talk about today is called Culpability by Bruce Holsinger, and this is just a book that I found on my own. Like, usually I'll like look up booktubers or book talk people that I like, and I'll look and see what they recommend to read, and I'll read those books. But this is something I found on my own, and I have to say it was really good, and I think about it to this day. It might be a 5-star, but I don't know yet. You're following Noah and his family of 5. Him and his wife have 3 kids, an oldest son who's about to go to college, 2 daughters, Izzy and Alice. The wife, Lorelai, actually works for a company. I'm not gonna be able to put this right into words, but she works for a company that kind of like makes the algorithm for artificial intelligence. She's really involved in that world. And they are on their way driving to a lacrosse game meet. I have no idea what you call that. For Charlie, the oldest son. They're driving their autonomous minivan? Guys, I don't know how to say that, but it's essentially just drives itself and it has its own mind, right? Charlie's in the front seat, he's driving. Noah, the dad, he's in the passenger seat working, and they get in a car crash. They all survive, but the other car that was in oncoming traffic that was involved in the accident, the people in that car did not survive. So we follow them as they all kind of in their own way try to cope with survivor's guilt. There's a big mystery overall, and each of the characters has a secret that they are keeping, and it's just really fun to figure out each secret that they all have to hide from each other, and the end is really interesting and crazy, but I would recommend that. And the overall theme is kind of just like, be careful with AI. At least that's what I got from it. Just like, you know, there's consequences to using artificial intelligence in the world that we have today, and it's almost inevitable in the world that we have today. Anyway, guys, that's kind of a wrap on my 5-star reads this year and the books that I think you should read for sure. And if you have already, let me know what you thought of them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you can let me know what I should read. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.